Hey guys, it's SJ back with another video, and today I'm coming back with an update. And so far we're about 95% complete with the server and we're ready to start actually working on like software stuff and start installing. But we're pretty much done, 95% complete. I'm just troubleshooting right now. Everything so far has been working out really great. I've gotten the firewall and the router. Everything below this is working fine. I'll probably have to reconfigure some stuff, but so far it's been operating good. And right now this is just an update video to kind of tell you guys what's going on and what the change about it. So let's get into it. So the first thing that you can obviously see is this little piece right here. You're probably wondering what it is. It's probably read 16-port console KVM switch, and yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Let me pull it out and show you guys. Yeah, it's kind of wonky, but that's pretty much it. It's great. I just figured out the problem with it. So I guess we'll start from the beginning. The guy that I got it from off of eBay, he couldn't reset it. He couldn't figure it out, so he sold it to me for $120. And online, the settings, the way how they word it is to reset it. So you have to take off this back panel. This back panel is like a couple of screws. Should take off all the sides. Take off this back panel, and then you have to get like let me see if I can find it. No. Here it is. You have to use like a jumper, some kind of jumper thing, but basically all it is just to short the pins while you turn it on. And basically it's this, it's a little RC thing that I use. It's like a RC connector, and it connects to like the transmitter, everything. But yeah, so basically you plug this into the port, and then you keep it in there while it's plugged in. You turn on the make sure everything is unplugged when you're installing this. When you put this on the two pins, make sure these two pins right here, not this one that's loose, these two pins are making contact with it. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna unplug this, make sure the power cord's unplugged, and you make sure that the actual power button is off. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. And then you plug it back in, you turn it on, and then the KVM will turn on, and then it'll actually tell you that the default password has been reset. And so you'll follow the instructions. It'll tell you to turn it off, unplug take the jumper off, and then screw everything back on, and then log back in. And the problem was with it is that when I tried to use the default login, it didn't work. The default login is administrator and password, and the problem with that was that every time I tried to use that login, it didn't work. But it turns out that when you log back in, you're not supposed to put in any password at all. You're supposed to just press enter. It'll log you in as an administrator automatically, and then what you do is that you press F4, and then you set the administrator password, and then you could change the administrator to username to whatever. So I changed it from administrator to admin, and then the password was just password still. So yeah, it's really wonky, and it took me about 2 hours to figure it out, but I got it figured out. Now the next roadblock that I hit was that every time I tried to I plug these in, the VGA cable to the one of the legacy servers down there, one of these, and the problem with that was that it's just not showing up on the KVM. I press number 7, which corresponds with that back there. I press number 7, and it'll say no signal. So right now I just finished that today, so I got the password working, and I figured it out, and I got everything working nice. I just got to figure out why the video isn't working, video output isn't working. But so far it's going pretty good. This KVM retails for $1,800, $1,500 to $1,800, and the guy, he sold it to me for what was it, $120 because he couldn't figure it out. So yeah, pretty lucky. But let's go ahead and get to the rest of the stuff. So probably wondering why I have a bunch of switches. So I'm thinking about using the having a lot of these servers on separate networks. So having the legacy servers on these two HP switches, and then having these virtualization servers on the 48 port and the 24 port switch. And that's what I was thinking so far, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna kind of wait, kind of see what goes on there from there. Next is that all the cabling and everything. So these two cables, the two blue cables, they come back here to the. Let me show you guys. So I mounted a switch back here, unmanaged switch back here, and I got the Keystone 1U panel that I had. I installed it and got some basically these ports. I forget the name of them, but they're basically female to female, and they basically go from one end to the other. So I can plug one into here and then just take it over there. But yeah, that's pretty much what I changed about it. Let's see. So the yellow, this first one is the router and the firewall itself. These are the two, those power plant. The other yellows, these two right here are the power plants. So here and here, so we have access to those. All this red is nothing but virtualization servers, and the green is the legacy server. So these are the legacy servers. These have Linux on them. I'm going to keep Linux on these for the time being, and these are going to be the virtualization servers, and that's how I'm going to have it. And I finally got all of everything in here filled up. So all these drives have SAS drives in them, so they're all labeled and they're ready to go. So all I have to do is just pretty much set it up. I had Linux installed on this one, but I don't want Linux installed on this one. I want Windows to be installed on this one. So I'm gonna have Windows installed on the data array and the virtualization servers, and keep Linux on the legacy servers. And yeah, I have pfSense installed on here on this WatchGuard box. I have pfSense installed in there, and that's how that's basically just managing everything down here. So yeah. I had a problem earlier in the day where, not in the day, but when I was setting everything up, I was turning everything on to make sure everything was working, and I was getting an over voltage error on the smart UPS. So it turns out that you can't actually have all of these on at the same time. So I had these two arrays on, but I do not use them right now because I have everything filled. I'm using this right now. I have these not turned on for a reason because I'm basically just not using them. I don't have the space for it, and there's no point in me having it on because I'm just going to be using these for the time being. And yeah, after that, I kind of turned off. So I tried turning on these servers right here, legacy servers, while these were on. It turns out that these draw way too much power. They draw like I think like 4 or 5 amps. And it could tell you right here, it tells you right here. So if this goes over 10 amps, so initially everything that turns on, they jump up a bit, they jump up a little bit, and then they stabilize at like a certain amount. But having all the essential equipment on, like the KVM, this down, the PDU, and the UPS on, is all essential. So that just being on draws about 3 amps. Let's see. Right now, I don't know why, but it shows it only right here. I wish I could add another panel so I can show it in the percentage, like the decimal point. But if it goes over 10, then it'll show the 10 here. But I wish it would show more information about that. But yeah, but having all the essential stuff on draws about 3 amps. But these servers right here, when they're on, it jumps up to about 6 or 7. and then when these are on, they jump up to about 8 to 9. I would have to look at that, but having this on, well, basically what I'm saying is having everything on except these two down here is enough to where it won't get an over voltage. Everything is good to go with everything turned on except these two disc arrays. These disc arrays draw way too much power, and there's no point of having them on. There's two redundant power supply units in both of these. So if one goes down, then the other one can just turn on and take the slack. And it's not bad, but I feel like I feel like that it needs to be fixed. So like I'm thinking about getting a bigger UPS or an extra one so that I can add to this one if that's even possible, and yeah, make it so that I can have everything on. But that's going to be in the future. Right now, this doesn't need to be on right now. It's these two disc arrays don't need to be on. I'm not using them. They're basically inactive. So I turned off the power switches in the back, and they're no longer on. Let's see. I ordered a lot of the cabling, the Ethernet cables from Monoprice. So you can actually go on Monoprice and choose the different kind of Ethernet cables or like that you want to choose. So this was just Cat 6 Ethernet cables, and I chose the red version. So I chose the red because I wanted the red to be virtualization, so I could I don't know, just why I want it to be. Green is for the legacy servers, and yellow is for the routers and the appliances. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I haven't changed much about the server besides the KVM and taking out the old NetApp disk array, because I don't have a need for that anymore. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys like the video, please like and subscribe. Subscribe if you already aren't. If you didn't like the video, dislike and tell me where I can improve. And yeah, if you guys want to see other videos, please comment down below which kind of videos you want to see. I'm going to be doing a fix tutorial for this because I was looking all over the internet and I cannot find it. I had to actually figure it out myself. So I'm going to make a tutorial on how to fix this sometime tomorrow or the day after. And I'll get that uploaded. But besides that, love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.